If you guys are not aware, the developers, the Alter developers, have recently had to address some accusations. Okay. And these accusations are about the use of generative AI. Now, generative AI seems to be the conversation that people are starting to have all across the gaming space. And by people, I mean the gaming journalists. It seems as if every article or every other article ends up being about some developer using generative AI and how they are essentially evil people for utilizing AI. I think what's happening here is that these people who like to have control over others and like to try to push their mindset onto others, I think they found some power in the moral policing of AI, where now that they have gotten some wins, right? We talked about Jurassic World the other day about how they had to address the scientists being used by, being made with AI. Now it seems like they're trying to target this particular developer for utilizing generative AI to the point where they had to make a statement about it, which we're going to go over in this video. So 11-Bit Studios, the developers behind recently released The Alters, has publicly addressed claims against it regarding the use of AI-generated content within the game. I also want to be very clear before we get further into the video that you can have your feelings about AI. Sure, everybody's kind of all over the place right now about AI as a whole because it's still fairly new, at least in the way that we know it today. But AI is going to be coming no matter what. Okay, AI is already here. AI has been getting utilized for a lot of different content and projects, whether you like it or not. And I understand we are now dealing with AI in the arts. So this is something that people are not very happy about because they feel like the arts and the creative spaces are something that should be 100% human focused, no automation, creativity can't come from AI, et cetera, that kind of an argument. But AI generally is a tool. And if it's used as a tool by a very creative person, you might be able to come out with some interesting things, but it shouldn't be used as the only thing, in my opinion. That's when it gets a little bit sus. But regardless, that's probably where it's going to go over time, unfortunately. But in any case, you can have your thoughts about AI. And like I said, everybody's all over the place on it, but the journalists are using it to moral police developers and try to get them to do what they want them to do, which is don't do the smart thing for business, which is, hey, if you have a small project that can be easily done by AI, go use AI and save your company some money so you can transfer funds to something better that could be, something better that could upgrade the game better. Like scientist portraits, okay. Using AI to do that, I don't think that's that big of a deal. They can take that money and put it somewhere else that would better suit the game. But these people would rather you not do that and hire someone just to make those same portraits. And to be honest with you, they'll probably end up making them worse half the time, which is the sad part. And this is why these developers are utilizing AI, because it's their way out of the trap that they put themselves in. A lot of these developers were hiring people that don't deserve the job and firing people that are like that. They want to claim everything as racist because they're firing them. Well, that's not exactly very easy. So you can avoid all of that by just using AI. And you can also use AI to just get ideas and see what you could think of after using AI. It doesn't mean you have to follow through and use everything that the AI made. It's just a tool at the end of the day. But in any case, they publicly addressed the claims in a lengthy statement released on social media on Monday. The studio said that it did use generative AI, but in a specific use case for temporary WIPs during the development process. All right, so we're going to read their whole statement. Let's see what they got to say and kind of go from there. So their statement says, we've seen a wide range of accusations regarding the use of AI-generated content in the alters, and we feel it's important to clarify our approach and give you more context. The statement begins, AI-generated assets were used strictly as temporary WIPs during the development process and in a very limited manner. Our team has always prioritized meaningful, handcrafted storytelling as one of the foundations of our game. They continue to say that during production of the alters, an AI-generated text for a graphic asset was used by a designer as a placeholder. It was then mistakenly left in the game's final release despite never being intended for such. We have since conducted a thorough review and confirmed that this was an isolated case, and the asset in question is being updated, 11-Bit Studios said. While we do not want to downplay the situation, we also want to clearly show its limited impact on your gaming experience. Let me be very real with you. A lot of the times, people can't even tell, right? Sure, there are some things that you absolutely can tell. right? When you had the Black Ops situation where the zombie, the Santa zombie or whatever, had 6 fingers and they released it like that, you have to look at them like, are you really stupid? Are you that stupid? Right? That's so obvious at that point. But other things, a lot of people can't even tell unless they're told it's AI. But it really seems like they are trying to utilize anything they can to make this into the next moral case that these journalists want to push every day. Every single day, we're seeing articles about AI, generative AI. These companies are evil, they're bad, they're lazy, they're this, they're that, whatever. These journalists are attacking these developers because of that. And these are the first people that tell us that we're the bullies. Meanwhile, they're the ones that are being the bullies and the moral police. In addition to the generative AI placeholder, this statement includes mention of movies being included at the final stage of development, which required translation. That translation, they said, was also done via AI as opposed to using their translation partners. You can read the full statement from 11, link below. So again, this whole thing seems to be a bit ridiculous. We could go over the entire statement and see what exactly they have to say. Let's bring it up really quick. Hold on. So let's check out their entire statement. This is the full statement from the company. It says, we've seen a wide range of accusations, which you already read. In addition to that, a few licensed movies that alters can watch in the social area of the base were added to the final stage of development. While those were externally produced, our team was not involved in the creative process, and these required additional last-minute translations. Due to extreme time constraints, we chose not to involve our translation partners and have these videos localized using AI to have them ready on launch. Here's the crazy thing. I guarantee you that the translations would probably be better with AI than they would have been with the localizers, because everybody knows what these localizers do. If there's anything even remotely problematic in the original text, they change it. Or if there's anything that's lacking and it doesn't have enough social issues, they change it. They do it all the time. So I would guarantee that they probably would do better with the AI than they would with the actual translators. They chose not to involve them and to have them ready at launch. It was always our intention to involve our trusted translation agencies after release as part of our localization hotfix to ensure those texts will be handled with the same care and quality as the rest of the game. That process is now underway, and updated translations are being implemented. To give you a better understanding of what a small part of the overall scope of the game's narrative layer are, those few external movies are approximately 10,000 words out of 3.4 million across all languages in the game, or just 0.3% of the overall text. The alternative was to release those specific dialogues in English only, which we believe will be a worse experience for non-English speakers. In hindsight, we acknowledge this was the wrong call. Even more so, no matter what we decided, we should have simply let you know. As AI tools evolve, they present new challenges and opportunities in game development. We're actively adapting our internal processes to meet this reality. But above all, we remain committed to transparency in how we make our games. We appreciate your understanding and continued support as we work towards this goal. So here's what this really is, right? This is all about control. Do you genuinely believe, for those of you that are watching this video right now, do you genuinely believe that there is a single journalist out there that actually cares about whether or not these developers use AI, strictly speaking, from a creative or quality standpoint? Of course not, right? There's not a single journalist that actually cares about that. The only reason they care about this is because they believe that if you use AI, then that could have went to someone who most likely is going to be a diverse person. They figure you can hire someone who can, join your team, enjoy your company, pay them a salary, et cetera, typical stuff. You can hire them instead of automating it and using AI as a tool that it was meant to be used at. So they're trying to go and do the whole fake Karen moral policing. What do they call it? Like concern trolling. They're trying to do the whole concern trolling where they're pretending to be concerned. Oh, we're just concerned about the quality of the game. We want to make sure that everything is done by an actual person. We want to make sure creativity is expressed properly. That's why we're fighting this. No, you're not. You're trying to ensure that people continue to hire and pay others who will do garbage work, number one. Most likely will not even know what the hell they're doing. And it's a complete waste of time when they could just simply use AI for small projects or small little tool-oriented things to get ideas and to continue development at a smooth pace. It's people that don't run any companies and are trying to tell these other people who do run companies how to run their companies efficiently. That's essentially it. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, these journalists and their concern trolling are a joke. They are using AI as their latest concern trolling. I don't know what else is going to be at this point that they're going to try to use as concern trolling, but this is what they're doing. They don't care about the quality. They don't care whether or not AI actually gets used. They only want these companies to waste their money and hire people who are diverse. That is literally it. So you guys can let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about AI? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Is it a tool? Should it be doing the whole thing? Like, what do you think about AI as a whole? And do you think these journalists actually care? You can let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.